I've been wondering lately, why is Mother Nature's middle name Maybe? Most of these rhythms that we end up synthesizing, purchasing random useless shit that isn't worth buying. Partitions, denial, living senile, living a life that isn't worthwhile. Attribute the success towards a healthy lifestyle, while segments of your soul are walking the 8 mile. I know where all the time went, but why has all my effort been spent camping outside my little tent? It's a life of denial that I never meant. I know there are much easier ways to go about this. Your cells look at each other, knowing which agent they miss. If only it were that easy to re-enter the matrix, sins burning alive like very old candle wicks. I want to be in a world where it was easier again, not a time where you wonder how or when. Life once had glory, benevolence, and strife. Ultimate commitment without a wife, cutting through logic like a knife. It's a big jumble of word salad, they might say. Little do they know, the last thing you do is mess around and play. There was once a story of the all-seeing eye. Once a legend, now a zero, it wants to buy. Purchasing and exchanging information to get to the top. Like a diver's worst enemy, the belly flop. This is now a good time to reminisce on the same old prose, as a weak and feeble-minded soul desires to propose. I can already tell how things will end up, no bluff. My faith and hope persevered where life was tough. Nostalgia filled in where there was room for boredom. Yes, things were okay, the ego felt true stardom. Recall and remember that story of the eye of truth. I know where the strings of time went aloof. The knowledge has finally fought through and won the battle. Earth rumbling sounds scare off the sheep and the cattle. The roads are cleared off of any obstacles. Gutters are shaken clean of any icicles. The repetition of knowledge doesn't stop. No longer with any guilt in the presence of any cop. A much cleaner ego. I'm truly becoming who I was meant to be. Let's break the focus and start explaining. Let's stop beating around the bush. This is the new focus. So that all-seeing eye, regardless of the luminescence of nostalgia, beside the fact that the threat of hope has dethroned and blinded its vision, we both know that it knows. Somewhere in my mind I know how real it is, how much it defies hope, faith, and the tithe of the tides. Subtracting sanity over a period of time, driving all those insane who approach the blocks connected within its base. People cannot handle it. They do not have the power that you do, the power you once did. Taking on a responsibility so huge, facing a taxing fate, you know the happy mask salesman will make his return to play you the song of healing. He grins, brings you back in time with the question, "You've been met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" Triggered, you know what it is. There are other ways for this to unfold. Plenty, plenty, plenty of other ways. When I know I'm liberated for the rest of my days, I feel comfortable standing in the light. There is shame in truth. Sometimes responsibility in truth is what dethrones you, the adventurer. A battle versus the non-playing characters of life, artificial intelligence. A battle versus the structures that stand and choose not to fight back. A song on repeat is able to sink in your brain, making you memorize its lyrics. Why did the truth not act the same way? As you intentionally forgot the reasons why you have a past, an agenda to bring forth the best future for all of us. Which way, which path is the right one? Is there any clear path at this point? There's never a rational decision when you know that you have invested such a big part of yourself into a wormhole of forgotten lands. Human nature ignored, shunned, and disdained. The eye of truth lacks light, but it has no room for shadows. It sucks in all the energy that is nearby, grabbing and questioning your purpose and your essence. It is not evil, but it's actually too real for you as a human to accept. You've made a good decision today, taken a good choice, done a good deed for yourself. The eye itself knows that the future is filled with regret, despair, repetition, and sorrow. It doesn't blink at the fact that innocent animals have been crippled where they stand by activists who protest against this on a regular basis. It doesn't blink at the fact that someone who is so outspoken against violence has performed a violent deed, or someone who is so against the abuse and pro-ethics that has treated someone so dastardly and unethically that nearly no life is left within this ball of fur we call an animal. Innocence was discarded the moment this tithe of living increased. With each day that bastards were ignored. I'll tell you this for sure, I know what I know now. This eye has shown us all. At this point, I know only what has been in front of me, what experiences have unfolded beneath the sun, not within my own bloodstream. At first it was blinding. Rays of truth were too strong to handle. The light was unforgiving. I wanted to just leave it behind at many points, but chose to come back to this. The sun questioned everything. It felt good to reminisce on those times, until the life of responsibility came in. Duty, honor, and virtue pushed you into the abyss of unforgiving behavior. Ego and identity was left behind along with any sense of shame or regret. Focusing on that was the time where I was truly ideal. This is the time where I gave it my all. The eye itself knows what I've done. It knows just as much as truth about the judgment of goodness as it does about the judgment of evil. It knows what blocks I've added, fixed, and refined in its structure as others sabotage its sacred grounds. That life of denial has created such iconology. Why, things are, and they forgot what they are. Hope cannot and should not live in denial or doubt. Young love cannot and should not live with threatening interrogation. You won't ever feel the same standing in the light because of the eye watching you. It has nothing to do with the light. It has to do with who you are. Your past is a big part of that. At the end of the day, there are themes a dog shouldn't dream of. A sense of loyalty and responsibility that a dog would never understand. Some things, some people, some ideas are better left off underground. The surface of the sands gives privilege to the living. It allows people to walk freely. Some people do not deserve to walk freely given the sacrilege they have done to these sacred grounds. The eye overlooks behavior as if it never happened, but sees this intention as if it was the sole purpose of one's existence. Intention is more important than anything else. Without any faith involved, you can still fool him. You can actually lie to his face. He will see you for a liar, but not through the actual lies itself. With no hope, no subjectivity, it will see that. Let's be honest this one time. Ask yourself this. Are the vibrations of the sound around you more powerful than truth itself? Are your senses more powerful than the gap between truth and reality? That answer is sadly yes. And the life of denial is reborn every single day regardless of intention. A will to stop being an animal and to stop treating others as equals in your lowly state is a constant question. Will you be responsible for your actions? Are rays of vengeance, spite, and hatred going to break the grounds you took so long to build? Even though one day may be filled with an earthquake, these structures do not have to fall. Their foundations are the literal foundations of truth. Bricks, tiles, and lamination are threatened. Energy for lethargy, the good days. Where work is easy, payoff is high, and nobody even questions why. I don't know where I am, where to go, but I know that in the skies an eye somewhere looks back down at me.